It's all for you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End of discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome everyone. This is Ishmael from Dad is Not a Noun. I hope everyone's doing well. I have a special guest with me today. He is a father, devoted husband, and a hip-hop educator. I have Locke with me. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Peace, man. It's good to see you again, brother. I'm glad to be here.
You too, brother. Thank you, man. We had a great conversation on a podcast that I'm also a part of called High Creativity, which we went into like your love for hip-hop, your love for history, and all that stuff. So I'm telling you, people, go check that out. The link for that podcast will be in the description below. King, tell me, we've been through this pandemic. What have you learned as a father, as a husband, as a father about that you learned through this pandemic?
That I learned?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, through this pandemic, I guess one of the things that I can say that I learned is how cool my family, how tight we are, how close we are. This was not a problematic situation for us. And I know that a lot of people were like, yo, I'm stuck in the house and with my family. And that was never the case. You know what I'm saying? Me, my wife, my 3 daughters, it was never a situation where we were like tired of one another or we got to a place where we just was annoying. We're all really just cool. We're all really some good friends. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the structure is my wife and I, and then, our 3 kids. But I learned it was a testament to the relationship that we have between us. You know what I mean? So even though I would say I knew it, when you go through something like that, you can really know it. You know what I mean? It's a situation where it's like, yo, I know how this is, and I learned that about us. As far as everything else, family wise, that was my biggest lesson. You know what I mean? Because we were together. You know what I'm saying? This was a pandemic. We was doing everything, and then once we started, the world started opening up. We was going out together. You know what I'm saying? And traveling together and doing the things that we needed to do together, but it was all cool, man. It was all love. We just never went through no type of crazy situation where it was like, I got to get away. The kids is killing me. You know what I'm saying? Wife's getting on my nerves and I got to bounce. And you know what I mean? Nah, we was all good money.
And then you tell me, as a father, talk about raising 3 daughters as a father, the highs and the lows.
In the beginning, it was a great learning process. A young father, as a man, you deal with your own things. So I was living my own life, going through my own emotional things, trying to figure out things on my own. You know what I mean? So now I'm in my mid-20s and my daughter's born. The day that she was born, the day I watched her come out the womb, was a day that I changed a lot of things that I was thinking. I got out of a space that I was in. And I'm like, I'm going to be a particular kind of father. But it's like 1,000 things that you learn. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that as much as these are my friends, I'm your dad. I'm not your boy. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta know about this line. Can't act like the cool parent and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because things will get blurred, especially having daughters, how to interact with these females like that. You know what I'm saying? How to interact with these 3 women that I'm raising and to communicate with them, respect their space, but know that I'm also in their space. So it's like my man said in that movie, everything up in here, my business. You know what I mean? The Paid in Full, that was the Paid in Full movie. But, I learned just a lot about being a father to young ladies. I learned a lot about respecting space. I learned a lot about but not having to respect space and being on the scene and having this closeness. And I learned a lot about, you know what I'm saying, being a cool parent, but not being a cool parent. You can't do that, you know, especially when it's time to discipline. You don't want to have to shut something on. You kind of got to be in that mode 24/7. I learned a lot about people being like my daughters are individuals. So one is not like the other. You can't, whatever goes on with one does not translate to the other. That's a totally different person. You know what I'm saying? And then my third one is a totally different person. These are three different individuals. You cannot group them. You know, you can't say, "Oh, this worked for you," you know, so you're automatically going to do it. You can't do that. You can't automatic. I learned that you can't assume that things that I think and that I know, they're going to automatically know because they're my kid. Things don't translate through osmosis like that. You know what I'm saying? They live a different life than I've ever lived. You know what I'm saying? They have different experiences. So you gotta adapt to that and not just go with the back in my day it would have been like this ain't your day. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with your kids, you know what I mean? It ain't no back in the day we used to do it like this. So that translates like no. You know what I mean? That ain't the time it is. You have to adapt. You gotta understand, you know what I'm saying, that you live in a new age and a new world, and your time, as far as you being a child or you being a young adult or whatever those tactics was, those are gone. So I learned that. I'm not just saying that like I knew it. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn learn that by making my mistakes as a father, as a husband, you know what I'm saying, as a man, but being able to correct everything and being able to let the world teach me and guide me and just being observant. I've always been an observant brother. But you know, I've learned a lot of lessons, man, from being a father. You know what I'm saying? You really got to stand on your word. You really got to you can't say stuff like hey, you know what I'm saying, we're going to watch a movie on Friday, and then Friday coming, you got something to do. You know what I mean? Because your word as a parent is wild deep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love it because my word is always bomb,
Right.
but it really means something to your child with those little things. Yo, we gonna make popcorn and eat it Saturday night and chill. You know what I'm saying? Like they're looking for that. You know what I mean? It's not insignificant, and those things establish like a trust thing. You said this was gonna happen, and it happened. You know what I mean? The little things matter. Instead of you say these little things, but you brush those little things off. Now I I'm developing this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I learned all of those lessons, man, and I'm still learning. You know what I
And
mean?
that's
I'm
the one,
still,
yeah, and that's the one thing too is I'm not a parent, but I'm a great fan of fathers like you. Can you talk about the importance of being transparent and honest with your kids? I don't know. Did you ever tell your kids, oh, there was Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, all that stuff that like parents tell their kids?
yeah, I did. Reason being is because I grew up with that. That was the culture. You know what I'm saying? You know, I we're like African Americans, right? So we're Americanized Africans. So we come with this Americanized culture, and we live that. You know what I mean? So there's things that I grew up believing in Santa Claus. Grew up believing in the North Pole. I grew up, you know what I'm saying? But I live with my mom, I live with my dad, I live with my grandparents. I also lived with my aunt for a period of time. I kind of moved around a lot. But those Christian themes were, which is a part of American culture, were embedded in me. So as a parent, it was like a natural thing to put up the Christmas tree or tell you about Santa Claus. But what also ends up happening is I'm also very real, right? So there came a point in time where it's like, well, I'm just not going to lie to you. If you discover it, you discover it. I might not come out and tell you
Right.
about us because I don't feel like crushing you at 4 and 5 years old.
Right.
But you're not going to be sitting on some white dude's lap ever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and to be transparent, even in this conversation, is because we did that. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter, our oldest is 18. My next daughter's 9, and my next daughter's 7. So There was a 9-year gap between the first daughter and the second, which we learned a lot, went through things. So something as simple as Christmas, which I have no problem with people that celebrate Christmas. I'm not saying that. That's not part of my spirituality. So I look at it differently, even though we practice the Christmas thing. You know what I'm saying? We just look at it differently. It's like it's a time for us. I like the holiday spirit. You know what I'm saying? I like the snow on the ground. I like the ambiance of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's different for me than it is coming from, you know what I'm saying, a place where it was exclusively about the birth of Christ or something like that. You know what I mean? So I do, part of the American culture, as I go back to, is, this is a day for us to chill and give gifts and show each other that we appreciate each other and we love. It's just a time for that. And the religious rhetoric, we could talk about that differently. But in the beginning, from like one to five with our first daughter, every Christmas we at the mall taking a picture. One day, me and my wife just was looking at our family albums, and we was like, "Yo, who are these weird white people in our photo album? They look mad creepy, you know."
Right.
And then we was like, "Yo, we just can't do this no more," you know what I'm saying? And so like, and you learn stuff like that. So my other two daughters, nah, they never sat on Santa's lap or did nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the way. But we went through that. We learned that. It wasn't just like hey, this is how we're going to do it. It was like, yo, who is that dude? And this is You know what I'm saying? Like, why is my girl sitting on this dude's lap? Like, I don't want, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say you learn those types of things, and then you learn to be more truthful. You learn to be more real. When your kids is like 1 through 5, yeah, it's the Easter, like the tooth fairy. You know what I'm saying? If you got your pillow under the tooth and you want a couple of dollars, yeah, that comes to a point. But my daughters is quick. You know what I'm saying? So they like, yo, did you put any money into my pillow? It's my daughters they on it. So I have learned, but because also with learning, it's also my path as a man. It's also my path, the one that I'm taking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning stuff, but I'm also being the man of the house, and I'm also being accountable for my actions. So I'm also thinking and being considerate and doing things of that nature. So, you learn a lot on the spot. You learn a lot by paying attention. You learn a lot by being considerate towards everything that's happening. So, when it comes to telling the truth about things like that, sometimes I just won't mention it. I'm not going to have a conversation about the Easter Bunny.
Right.
I'm not going to have a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you come and ask me, then I'll keep it real with you. But if I am not the one throwing it on you, you're not going to ask me. You know what I'm saying? When it's Christmas time, we don't talk about Santa coming down the chimney. You know what I'm saying? You can be surprised as a kid, from one to five. I like when my kids come out and they see all of this stuff already opened and things, some things you gotta open and some things you don't. My grandma did that for me. I used to come out and see a racetrack. I remember the Thundercats and the He-Man
Yes.
tracks all put together, and I'm mad excited. I want them to feel that without having to lie to them about why this is happening, or without having to just compromise everything that I'm about for the sake of the holiday. You know what I mean? So there's a balance there, but I'm on my own path. You know what I'm saying? Certain people are going to celebrate that differently than me. You know what I mean? But it is good to be honest. It is good to be transparent with your kids, because you then teach them how to be honest and transparent. If you hide stuff and you lie to them, you're going to teach them how to hide and lie stuff. They hear what you do and they see what you say. They hear what you do
Yes.
and they see what you say.
Yes.
They see what you're talking about, but they hear your actions and what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't live a certain way and think that your words is going to now explain your actions or your actions,
Facts, man. And then segueing to I'm a big fan of your work because you implement history into your music, which is important. And one of my favorite quotes is from a movie. I don't know if you ever seen it. It was a film that came out in 1962 called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And one of the famous quotes was, "When a legend becomes fact, print the legend." And in history, we often print the legend and the legend becomes the truth. So as a father, as a hip hop historian, like talk about that significance of, breaking down those myths that we grew up when it comes to history.
For me, my educational hip hop path. See, when you talk about that question, you're saying exploring the myths that we learned about history. That part of life for me is different than my educational joint. You know what I'm saying? That part of life for me was discovering the truth. So it never really was about mythology. It was about just diving deeper into the truth. What is the truth? What is happening? Who did what? You know what I'm saying? What's going on with that? So by the time I get to educational hip hop lyrics, I'm not really talking about mythology. Um, even though there's sprinkles of mythology when I'm speaking from a spirituality perspective. So let me just be very clear here. When I'm a song like Black Men Rock, if I'm talking about Aset, Sar, Haru, now that's a deeper conversation. So I might throw that out. And for some people, it could be mythology, or you can understand it as something totally different. So I don't want to sound like, I just want to talk about mythology. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
There's sprinkles of it when I'm speaking from a spiritual perspective. But, my thing is to dive into the truth. My thing is to really, really get to the base of the information and give you that, and not really give you anything else. So when they say Christopher Columbus discovered America, if that is what you're saying as far as mythological and me correcting that, then yes. But my whole thing is I always wanted to know the truth about him. I found out early that he never landed on the American continent. You know what I mean? So for me, that was never, it was like, well, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? He opened up the trade routes from Europe to America. And that's, you know what I mean? And that's a significant thing to them. But you can't
Right.
just say he discovered this because you're grateful that he did that. So it was, for me, it was always about getting to the truth. It was never about correcting mythology, because I don't know what people know and what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no way to correct you. I don't know what you know, and I can't assume that you know the wrong thing. The only thing I can tell you is the truth that I've learned. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that truth is solid. You know what I mean? And hopefully I'm putting enough work into it so that I'm giving you accurate information. You know what I mean? That's my job as an educational hip hop lyricist. But I'm not, I just don't think about it from that perspective. If it
Right.
seems like, wow, I'm dragging out this question, you know what I mean? Like, I
No, no,
don't
no.
about, am I correcting mythology and stuff like that. I'm really just trying to give you the truth that I've learned, you know?
And I think that's important because that's the why I post that quote, because usually when we tell history, we usually tell history from the winners. The winners usually portray our history for us, and we consume it as the truth. And what I love what you're
Right.
doing is you're questioning it. It's like, that don't sound right. Let me do my research. You missed out this. You missed out this. It's like you're correcting them in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And talk about the importance about doing that as a father, as you're teaching your daughters history compared to the history they got from public school or the schools that they went to.
It's definitely very important to teach my daughters anything that's the truth. And, you know, so my daughter will come to me and say, hey, Dad, this is what we learned, you know what I'm saying, in class today. And then we'll have a conversation. All of them. Yeah. Well, not my youngest. My youngest is 7, so she'll be in the second grade. But my oldest, we'll come and we'll have conversations about religion. We'll have conversations about social studies. Now, my youngest one is coming to me. We're talking about the Boston Tea Party and the massacre, and I'm giving them the other things that they're not learning in school, and I think that that's important. Number one, it's important to have that open dialogue. It's important to have the relationship where they can come to you and actually ask you some questions or want to discuss whatever it is that they're learning in school. That's a different thing within its own. Them feeling comfortable enough to be like, yo, dad, so this is what I'm learning today. Like, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Just being able to come to me and talk about that. And I'm like, oh, word, Boston T. All right, well, this. And you know what I mean? And this is what you need to know. And let me add this to it. So it is important to do that. Um, And the crazy thing is, for me in particular, like I am in a position to have these conversations because that's sort of my thing. Not everybody's reads history and stuff like that. So not everybody's going to want to even be bothered by those questions, but you still should be able to have an open relationship with your child. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to, for the people who are just not into reading and not into history, and if their daughter comes or their child comes to them and asks them a question in that vein and they don't have the answers, then all right, that's cool as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to bash those people because there's a bunch of stuff I don't know about a bunch of different things. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do feel like having a open dialogue, having an open relationship, being able to just offer whatever it is that's your opinion onto your child is very important. You know what I mean? Especially if you're being considerate to the situation. So for me, I want my children to know particular things. So if we're driving in the car, you know what I'm saying, I might put on the Malcolm X tape. You know what I'm saying? If we got somewhere to go, I might, who knows what we're listening to? You know what I mean? It could be Fred Hampton. It could be Shaka Musa Brad Shango. It could be Ashra Kwesi. You know what I mean? Like I'm making sure that they're listening to this, even if they're unaware of it. You know what I mean? It's just how I get down. But it is very important to at least pass on to them whatever it is that you have learned, whether it's historical, whether it's just about the streets, whether it's about the job market, whether it's about maybe you're good in math, who knows? But it's important to give them whatever it is that all that you can to help them elevate, and because everything will help. You know what I'm saying? If I'm giving them history, okay, that's cool, that helps. But if I don't know history, maybe I know about you know what I'm saying, cardboard boxes, you know what I mean? And I want to share that with them. At least they'll be knowledgeable about that. You know what I mean? At least they'll be able to take that, you know what I'm saying, somewhere else. My father, he's a construction worker. He taught me how to spackle. You know what I'm saying? So that trade, that's what he gave me, you know what I'm saying? That helped me. You know what I mean? Having a trade, having something I can always fall back on and rely on, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to do a lot of things because I knew how to do that trade. But that is what he had to offer me. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things that people can give you. There's different things that people can offer you, but you have to have the relationship to be able to give and receive, to receive the question and give out whatever information that you have.
And I think that's important too. And and what makes you awesome as a dad is that you teach your kids so many things and let them know that don't let people put you in a box. You know what I mean? Like you can do multiple things. You can you can excel in one thing, but don't let people just put you in that one thing. You can do different things, as well as with your father who taught you trade. Like yes, you're a hip hop educator, but you're many things. So talk about that too. That importance of be able to do multiple things and not be put in the box as just a hip hop educator. You are more than just a hip hop educator.
Oh yeah, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grown man, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a grandson, I'm a nephew, you know what I mean? But I think it's important to as a man, I think it's important to be able to have something that you can do that will help you sustain yourself. You know what I'm saying? And in a crazy situation. I went to Rutgers, I graduated, you know what I'm saying? But when I got out, among other things that I was doing, I was in the construction field, you know what I'm saying, which held me down. Um, so for me, it's definitely important. And as far as even saying I'm the hip hop educator, I didn't start out like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start out I was not no conscious rapper or none of that. I was a battle rapper who was talking about everything that I could talk about. You know what I'm saying? The education. Somebody began calling me that. Yo, you're the hip hop educator, because I was putting out educational content in the music, and that's what people started to call. I didn't give myself that name. You know what I mean? I just accepted it as I was constantly being called that. Because when I think of the hip hop educators, I immediately think about KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? So even saying that, I'm like, yo, I don't, that's the blast master, B, and that's one of the best lyricists and one of my favorites of all time. So I never wanted to give myself that, just from the respect that I have from him, and it's others. You know what I'm saying? And you got your Roz Kosh, you got your Nas, you got your Big Daddy Kings, you have your X Clans, you got your Chuck D's. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, I wasn't going to come and start disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, elders, you know what I mean, and the people that laid the foundation for me to lay it down. But I do educational hip hop music. People began to call me that. I went on to put out Lesson One. I went on to put out Lesson Two. I went on to put out the Wolves EP with me and my brother Capone. And I put out Black Matters. And I'm working on this next joint, Leopards and Lions, Lesson Three. So I'm doing the work outside of going into the schools and you know what I'm saying, and doing all of that. But I think that it's important to go where life leads you. Respect the gifts that God gave you. Um, Not relying on one hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not relying on one thing. You got to live life. Life comes with a bunch of curveballs. We went through a recession.
Yeah.
We just went through COVID, where the world was locked up. You know what I'm saying? You got to have different things, you know what I'm saying, just to help you stay afloat. You know what I mean? And not get crushed by life, because you can be, if you don't take it seriously and you're not thinking like that. You can just, and time don't stop.
Facts,
Then
man.
you 70, like, damn, what happened? You know what I mean? It's,
Facts.
yo, you can, for 40-year-olds, you like wish you was 18, but if you're 70, you wish you was 40.
Yep.
You know? Gotta think about that. You know what I'm saying? And really, really just use your time on this earth, man, to just do everything that you can.
And I think that's the one thing I love about you, especially with your message too, is you always recognize we stand on the shoulders of giants. And I'm a big fan of STEM, and I think it's important that people understand the importance that HBCU historically had on STEM. And one of my favorite tracks was the first track you wrote on your lesson one was Invent. Talk about that, because that was dope, because you basically broke down the historical black figures that played a major role when inventing things in this country.
Okay. Well, first let me say that the first song that I wrote was First 25 Presidents.
Okay, okay.
I just want to, Invent was maybe like the third.
Got
But this was me at the very, very beginning of doing this hip hop educational thing. You know what I'm saying? So when I was working on Invent, um, I was in a bookstore one day and I saw this book and it had a bunch of black inventors in it. And I picked up the book and read it, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. I didn't know black people invented all these things. And then I went on a deeper search. And what you come to find is, because people would say, well, black people say they invented that, but they didn't do it. You know what I mean? And so it was such a bigger narrative. It was black people invented this, but then had to give the copyrights to this person.
yeah.
Black people invented this, but then didn't get the credit because of, they might have been enslaved, and master had to get the and there was so much stuff. So if you're trying to look online, you'll see a bunch of people that have the credit for all of these inventions, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow. And then just digging into the story of how all these people did not get the credit for their natural inventions, for the things that came out of their head. You know what I mean? That's like, that list is so big. You know what I'm saying? And I only wanted to give the people who I can stand on if I was to ever get into some type of, you know, not a debate, but if I had to be somewhere and produce the evidence of why am I discussing the people that I'm discussing, I had to make sure that they were solid. But there's so many other people that invented things that they didn't get the credit for. I was just fascinated with that, and I had to come out with that song. It was, I think it was, I wrote First 25 Presidents. I think I either wrote The Moors or A Black Woman in Congress, and then I wrote Invent. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure Invent was like the third song. Um, yeah, you know what I mean? It was one of the top three. But that song was definitely just because there's so many people that don't get credit for the things that they do. You know what I mean? Even with the automobile, there's so many things that Black people created that's involved in the automobile, the gear shifts, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. And you're thinking Ford, GM, you know what I'm saying, Hyundai or Toyota, you know what I'm saying? You're not thinking of the work that went in to get these things going. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking of the light bulb, but you're not thinking of the filament.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I'm saying? You're looking at your clock, but you're not thinking of Benjamin Banneker.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're looking at our clothes. We're not thinking about the cotton gin. I had a discussion about the cotton gin, and they're like, yeah, you know, a white person invented the cotton gin. I'm like, how? They wasn't picking cotton. Why? They think they invented something to make it easier for their slaves? You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, there's so much that happened. You know what I mean? And there's so many things that Black people don't get credit for because of the way the world is at, you know, at this point in time. It's sad and it's unfortunate. And I feel like these things, you know, hold back humanity because all we want is the truth to just help us progress into the future. Nobody needs to be lied to, and nobody really needs to feel bad about the past. You know what I'm saying? You know, we just need to keep going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's important too, is that especially for a Black child to look at someone that looked like you that invented that, and you didn't know that.
You
That's
didn't know
how,
that.
when a kid finds
Yeah.
out that, you know, the story of Charles Drew, you're like, really?
Fascinating fella.
Tragic at the
Yeah.
same time, but yeah, fast.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Like
George
that could be
Washington, Carver, everything he did with the damn peanut.
yeah.
I mean, the lawnmower, the
Yeah.
mailbox, you know what I'm saying? The satellite trackers. You know, this is just so much. And the crazy thing is because of slavery and because of things of that nature, when you say that, they're like, oh, Black people, that's impossible. You people don't have, you know what I mean? Like it becomes like it's abnormal
Yeah.
for you to even think that Black people had intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you really do think we were 3/5 human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That has really sunk, and all of that was based on a lie because of a perception that other people wanted, and now that became the reality to the point where you can't even think that a man had intelligence based on his level of pigmentation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it is, man. And then also, I had a heated debate with a couple of people. What are your feelings on Juneteenth?
You mean as far as Biden and the international holiday?
Yeah, now that it's not. What are your feelings? And like, it was like celebrations all over the country and everything like that. To me personally, I take the time to pay homage to the unsung heroes of the Civil War. That's how I look at Juneteenth. Is to take the time to read about the important people that you may not know that played a significant role in the North winning against the South. But that's me personally. I'm not gonna go out there and celebrate. That's not me. I'm more about studying, learning, and applying it to my life. But what are your feelings on it?
I think it's dope. I understand that people are like, listen, we needed a black hate crime bill. We needed more than just a national holiday. I get that point, and I agree with that. But I also understand that you can't, you don't just look at something like that as insignificant. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You can have nothing or you can have something. Do you want
Right.
nothing or do you want something?
Yeah.
You might say, well, you know, Juneteenth is this and that. Okay, but it's a national holiday now. 100 years from now, it's going to be a national holiday. When we get out of our feelings about whatever's going on, that's still going to be a national holiday. You got to take that and understand what it is as far as the annals of history, as far as the long term. You can't just be like, yo, we want a black hate crime bill and they gave us Juneteenth. I get that argument. This doesn't mean you stop fighting for the hate crime bill. This doesn't mean any of that. It just means that, okay, now we got that. It's not, you know what I mean? It ain't the end all be all. It's like, all right, we got that. That's cool. That's dope. All right, cool. Now we just keep moving forward. It doesn't mean that you stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had a conversation, or at least have listened to conversations and debates where people are like, yo, that was to pacify us. And yo, I get all of that. I'm saying, yo, do you stop everything you're doing just because of the national holiday? You want this, you want that. You stop because you got that. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't impede the work that you're doing or hinder the process. Yo, keep going. I don't even understand what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, who cares why do your work, bro?
Yeah.
Like, stop acting like this holiday means that you stop. No,
Right.
you don't stop nothing that you're doing. Keep going. We just added a holiday to something that we have. Period. That's all it is. It is nothing more. It is nothing less. It does not mean that you stop fighting for a hate crime bill. It does not mean that you stop the work, the activism. It don't mean none of that. It just means that, yo, that's a national holiday on the books, period. Yo, keep moving, bro. Keep going. I don't even want to, like, these are conversations I don't be like, yo, why am I fighting with you? Like, you telling me, yo, what this is?
Right.
Bro.
No, facts. I feel you. It's like, all right, yeah, we have this national holiday. All right, just keep it going, keep it moving,
Keep moving. You know what I mean?
energizing. You know what I mean? That's how
Yeah.
I felt about Dr. King's holiday. I'm like, all right, cool. We're celebrating Dr. King. All right, what are we gonna do now? All right, like what's the plan? Are we gonna keep this
Yeah.
poor people movement going? What's up? What we doing? What we doing? You know what I'm saying?
You got to
And
keep
and
moving.
I 100% agree with you on that fact. On that fact right there. That's true. It's like keep it going, keep it moving, keep progression. You know what I mean? We have a holiday. This country that enslaved us for over 400 years, that didn't recognize us as human beings. Now we have a national holiday. All right, take it for
Yo,
what it is.
man, like, that's a
Take
bad.
it for what it is. Now, what are we gonna do next? What are our agendas? Like
You know,
what?
I I just want to say it shouldn't even be next. It should
Right,
just be, yo, that happened. Whatever you was doing, keep doing. Like, this is not a chapter where we're like turning a page. You know what I'm saying? Or it don't. It's not next, yo. That's something that don't got nothing to do with you. You're
right.
not a politician. You ain't none of that. Whatever you was doing, brother, keep doing it. You know what I'm saying, brother? Just keep doing it. Word.
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. And then also, man, this has been a dope conversation, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's like I love your energy. I love your knowledge. It's just dope. But before we end this conversation, talk about that track, Black Woman. I think it was a track. It was you, Capone, and the significance of that track being a father and a husband. Talk about that significance of that track.
That track, man, it was, first of all, it was Capone's idea. He walked into the studio talking about a side of Shakur. You know what I'm saying? But it was just two black men having a conversation. And he was just telling me about the side of Shakur and how personal. This was one of the books that he read while he was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And it meant a lot to him. In that conversation, I was talking about Queen Nzinga. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Because I'm into freedom fighters. I want to know more than just our people, because people like, why are we in slavery? But I'm like, yo, you're disrespecting the people that fought. You don't even know who fought. You don't even know the wars. You don't even know the stories. And you just jumping straight to the slavery part. So when I talk about Queen Nzinga, she's just heavy to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, the battles that she won, how she outmaneuvered people, faked to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, she was bad as far as being a leader. So we're having a conversation about these two women, natural conversation that led to, yo, we need to do a song about these females. Now, we were thinking about doing something to put on the EP that we thought that women would be able to like gravitate to and all of that. This song did not. It wasn't a gimmick. It was just a conversation. So after we did it, you know what I'm saying, it was like, okay, this is dope. We thought it was very important for all people, not just black, not just white, not just male, not just female, but just all people. And to have daughters and to be able to make a song about powerful black women it was just dope. You know what I'm saying? It's like the thing that makes this dope to me is that it was authentic. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, yo, it was really dope because we didn't set out to do this for no gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? It was really two brothers having a conversation and saying, yo, let's do this song. And how it resonated, you know what I mean, after the song is done. Because to be honest with you, I like to create freely. I like
Right.
open space. I don't like creating thinking that I'm doing this for you or
Right.
doing I like to just be my own man when I'm
Right.
writing songs. So but when you're finished, you can say, damn, this is dope because it's going to resonate like this.
Yeah.
And for him having all girls, me having all girls, it was just dope that two fathers could even put out a record where we're talking about these two strong black women. You know what I mean? It was one of just the effects of doing this joint. You know what I'm saying? Without even thinking about it in the forefront. So as a father, it was just dope to create a song about a female and to have girls and to have them listen to it and to have them be empowered by that. You know what I mean? That's just it's a dope feeling to know that you are the person that can create something that you can give to your baby girls and be like, yo, listen to this. It's about females that y'all need to know about. That's just dope within itself, man. I don't even got no more to say about that, man.
Nah, man, it was dope. I compare
Oh,
it. You probably gonna be shocked. You probably be shocked by my comparison, but I just felt like it was just a comparison to Nina Simone's "Young, Gifted, and Black." It's
yeah,
just a very empowerment track, man.
thank you. Man, Nina Simone is, salute. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. She's a queen, man. She is the queen.
Without a doubt. That made me think about my brother Talib Kweli and his song "Just to Get By" because
Yep,
that was that Nina Simone sample.
yep.
You know what I mean? So that you made me think about that when you mentioned that.
I'm gonna probably watch. I'm gonna probably listen to that right now after the interview, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Talib,
then after that, I'm gonna play Black Woman.
yeah, man, yeah. And I'm working on. I'm currently, and I've been working on it for a minute. But this Ida B. Wells joint that I'm doing is real sick,
Dude,
real sick,
I
man.
can't wait, King.
Yeah, I got the
Just
track.
drop.
Look, I got the first verse. You know what I'm saying? I'm just constructing the second, man. Oh man, but yeah,
Dude, when it comes out, man, let me know. You're always welcome back here, as well as High Creativity. Where can people find you, brother?
you can find me, man, on all social media sites, man. I'm on Instagram at Smart Hip Hop. I'm on Twitter as Smart Hip Hop. I am on Facebook. You can catch me either Larry Lock Henderson or Smart Hip Hop Music. You can catch all of the music on everywhere from Spotify to Apple Music to Tidal to, everywhere. Just lesson one, lesson two, the Wolves EP with myself and Capone from CNN, the Black Matters album. You know what I mean? You spell Lock, L-A-K. Just get the music, man. Get the music, man. It's and listen to it. We do
Definitely,
this.
man. Definitely. Go get that. Go get that like today. For real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll be in for a great surprise, man. And out of them joints, man. I love Les. I was listening to Lesson Two the other day. I really love that album, man. And I love the Wolves joints. I love them all, but Lesson Two and Wolves right now.
Lesson two, I was bumping for like before the interview. I was listening to lesson two for like a half an hour,
Oh
just
man,
vibing to it, listening to it, and just structuring the wordplay, the lyrics. Because that's the type of person I am, man. Because I'm like I write poetry too, so I'm all about the words, and so I'm just dissecting it bar by bar, man, and it just put a smile to my face by listening to it, man. So yeah, for real, go listen to lesson one, listen to, just get all that work, listen to all that.
all
All
the
right,
work. You will not be disappointed. You know what I mean?
definitely,
Jim's on there, man. Capone from CNN's on there. Talib Kweli's on there. Got my man Mercury Beach producing tracks. I got my man Nice, who's an incredible, incredible lyricist. I got my man Elo Kush. I got my man Jack Sparrow, and one of my favorite songs from Lesson 2 is God's in the Motive. You know what I'm saying? He's on that joint. Redemption. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just really love that album, man. And then I was listening to Wolves, and I listened to the Footprints joint again, and Black Woman again, and because sometimes I got to take a break from listening to my music. I hear it so much that I can't hear it, so I gotta take a long break and then get back to it. So I feel it. Because you know what I mean, you listen to it 1,000 times when you're making it. You listen to the beat 1,000 times. You listen to the mix. By the time everything's done, it's, you know what I mean. Now you're seeing everybody else's reaction, but you can not listen to your song for like a month, 2 months. When you come back, it's like a fresh fan. You know what I'm saying? Now you hear everything that you're saying, and it's a different experience. So after taking a break and then coming back and listening to the music, I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Facts. So you listen out there, people. Listen to it, take a break, and then listen to it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Brother, I appreciate you, man. Again, you're always welcome to come back, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.